welcome to Drummer's Perspective. My name is Ben Todd and I'm here to help broaden your scope of what's possible as a drummer. Thanks so much for checking out the video here today. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. That really does help me out and it lets you know next time I got a video coming out. Now today I thought I'd share with you something kind of fun, and that's my process of putting some brand new heads on a brand new drum kit. If you saw my previous video that I just put out, it was kind of an unboxing video about this new beautiful drum set that I got, as well as the reasonings behind why I chose this specific kit to add to my setup. If you haven't seen that video, I would suggest you go and check it out. But yeah, I thought that because I haven't actually played a single note on this drum kit, it's just been sitting in my studio for the last week, I thought it'd be cool to, just walk you through my process of putting some new heads on the kit, some little tips and tricks that I have for tuning. Really nothing new, it's just kind of my process, and there's obviously like a bunch of really great resources out there for tuning drums. But I also thought I'd put some mics on the kit and play it for the first time and share that with you all, and then also I'll be putting at the end of this video a little bit of footage of the first gig that I use this drum kit for, which hasn't happened yet, but will be happening in the future. So yeah, I just thought it would be cool to kind of show you the process of how I go about doing something like this. I feel very lucky to have a new set of drums to play with and some beautiful brand new heads to put on it. As I mentioned, if you haven't checked out that video about this drum set, please go and take a look at it, but a little bit of history about why I chose this kit and what it is. It's a Pearl Session Studio Select drum kit, 20x14 bass drum, 10x7, 12x8 and 14x14 toms in white nicotine marine pearl finish. So haven't played anything on it yet, and I've been really itching to do it, but I just haven't had time this past week, so yeah, thought I'd document the process of all of that for you and share it with you. So, I'll explain the heads that I chose to use on this kit. For the toms, I'm going to go with the Remo coated ambassadors. Similarly to why I chose this kit to add to my setup, it's kind of something quite different. I don't have these specific sizes in my setup, and certainly the wood that's used in the shells, I don't have anything like that really at the moment. So yeah, same for these heads. I don't actually have any kits out at the moment, gigging kits anyway, that have the Remo ambassadors on them. Mostly they're all clear emperors at the moment. So yeah, I thought it'd be cool to try something different and just have a different sound for this particular setup, and give me some more options when I'm selecting drums to use on gigs and sessions and things like that. So yeah, the Remo ambassadors for the toms, and then for the bass drum, similarly to the toms, I went with the coated Power Stroke 3 black dot, reverse black dot. So I really love these heads. When I've used them in the past, I love the punchiness and kind of the attack that you get out of a coated bass drum head is really cool. But yeah, at the moment, pretty much all the heads I'm using on my bass drums are clear. Some of them have patches and some of them don't. So again, I thought it'd be something cool to put something different on these drums, and give me some different options to use. So I'll start out with the toms. I won't show you the process for every tom. It's going to be pretty much the same concept, and like I said, there's a bunch of extremely useful and cool information out there, videos and such, about tuning drums. I'll just kind of show you my basic concept for that, for one of the drums, and then leave the rest to you to kind of apply those techniques on all of your drums. So what I do is, to start out with, I grab the drill and this very cool Remo drum key. I'm someone who always seems to be losing those drum key drill bit attachments, so when I first saw this Remo drum key, I really liked a lot of things about it, kind of the sturdiness of it, the way it kind of feels in your hand, the ergonomic design. It's got this rubber tip on the end, so you can do some fine like finger tightening with it, which is super cool. But it's also got a drill bit attachment in the end of it, which is great because I've only had one of these drum keys and I've never lost it because it's just like big and chunky, and I always kind of have it with me. And yeah, it's got this drill bit attachment on it, so you can use it for taking heads off. So yeah, I like to pretty much just use the drill bit to, as mentioned, take heads off. I try to avoid using it to put them back on unless it's a really kind of rushed situation. But generally I want to avoid just that potential of over tightening using the drill, putting on a new head. Just, want to avoid that if possible. But taking heads off, I'm comfortable using the drill bit most of the time. So that's cool, that's good to go. So I'll just grab this stool. Yeah, generally I try to start out at least anyway tuning drums on a surface. They will tend to be slightly different once you put them on the suspension mount, like whether it's off the bass drum or off of a stand. They will pull slightly on the lugs, so it's just a matter of kind of fine-tuning it from there. But anyway, to start with, to get a nice flat kind of balance with all the lugs, I like to start using it on a flat surface. So we'll start with the 10, take it off, and yeah, get this this factory head off, which I think is actually, it's a great head. I think it's a pinstripe by the look of it. So, you know, for some things this could be great just to use the factory head that comes with these drums. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go for a kind of a different sound to what I currently have in my setup, and yeah, I think the ambassadors are going to work great. Cool. So the other cool thing I forgot to mention about this drum key is that it is, magnetic. So when you're taking lugs out like this, the lugs stick to the drum key, which is very, very cool if you want to take them out. But for now, I'll just leave them in there. So get this factory head off. And yeah, I save those heads. I certainly don't throw them out. I will try and, that's the 12, I think. Here it is. Yeah, I will keep those heads either as a spare or donate them to a school or you know, a young drummer, up and coming drummer, or a student, or someone who I think will appreciate them. I never kind of throw out the factory heads. Just keep them just in case an emergency situation or something like that. So for me, yeah, it doesn't really matter, but I like to keep the badges at the top when the drums are positioned on the stand. Cool, so now all the lugs are in there. I'm just going to finger tighten them down until the top of the lug hits the rim. And I gently apply a little pressure just so I can get it down and feels like a nice even balance all around. And when you get to these ones, if you're using pearl drums and the Optimount system, it will feel a little different, obviously going through the rubber of the Optimount, but you just have to kind of apply the same amount of gentle pressure to the rim and push it down to where it feels like it's about even with the rest of them. Cool. So they all feel pretty even, just finger tight with the lugs there. What I'll do now is take the drum key out again. And as mentioned, yeah, these Remo drum keys have got the rubber grip on the end, which is really great for finger tightening as well. So that's the next thing I'll do, is just to make sure that these are kind of as finger tight as I can get them without going crazy. And this is, again, the cool thing about doing it by hand like this. You can kind of really feel it. At least for me anyway, this is the process that's worked best. And I'm generally trying to go in that cross pattern, star pattern, whatever you want to call it, that just to try and keep the tension even over the head. Cool. That's already sounding really nice. So that's just finger tight, as I said. I checked the bottom heads before we started rolling, just to make sure that they were all relatively even as well. But yeah, pretty much we're going to be focusing on the top heads for now. You can kind of feel as well, like if you just run your fingers around the bottom rim and the head, you can feel sometimes if it's white, like really quite different. The rim will be like the head will be much more under the rim and sticking out on some other sides. So you can kind of, if you're unsure, you can kind of have a feel around the rim that way as well. Cool. So what I do now that's pretty even, just finger tight, is just gently apply some pressure into the middle of the drum and run my finger around the edge. And if I can feel any wrinkles in the head, that means that there's not quite enough tension on that specific lug, so I'll just tweak it up a little bit. But I think maybe a little up top here. I think that's pretty good. Cool. So now, again, there's nothing really new, but just mute the bottom head with your fingers gently. Around the edge, right? You want to get as close to the edge as you can get, close to the lug as you can get, to hear that overtone. Cool. Now at the moment, I'm just kind of going for an even sound. I'll fine tune the actual fundamental pitch at some point, but for now, I'm just trying to get that head to sound nice and balanced. So now we'll grab the stick. Wow, beautiful. That's really, really nice. I love the length of the note. It's like full and punchy and sustained, but controlled. Sometimes, especially I found with thin heads, the sustain on the note can be way too long, but I think it's a combination of the wood that they use in these shells and kind of the way that it's tuned, that it's got a really nice kind of controlled length of note. Lovely. So I might just tweak this bottom head up a little bit now that we've got the top one on. And again, I'm just trying to get an even sound. I'll fine tune the actual pitches themselves once I can hear them with the rest of the drums. Awesome. Wow, I'm really happy with that. That's the first note I've played on this kit, or these drums, so I'm really excited to get stuck into the rest of them. And yeah, I'll continue on. All right, this drum sounds beautiful. I should say that I didn't actually even need to do anything more than finger tighten with this particular drum, and sometimes that's the case with floor toms, especially. The tension really isn't that much on them, depending on what note you want, of course, but for like a pop, rock, funk kind of tuning for a 14x14, yeah, I didn't actually have to hold the drum key in the conventional manner. It just was finger tightening with that rubber tip there, and yeah, it sounds great. Again, I love like the sustain in it and the fullness of the note at the beginning of the initial attack. It's got a really beautiful tone, but then the decay is really nice as well and controlled. And I can see why it's kind of angled at that session studio sound, because you get that really nice tone right up front, and then the decay is kind of nice and controlled and doesn't hang around for too long. So yeah, I'm really happy with where these drums are at the moment. As I mentioned, once I get them on the kit, on the tom mounts, and played with each other, I'll probably do some more fine tuning from there. But I think for now, we will leave it with the toms and move on to the bass drum. Alright, so for the bass drum, the concepts are generally pretty much the same. I'll use the drill to take the lugs off, and then pretty much sometimes just even finger tighten, not even with the drum key, just with my fingers themselves to get the right amount of tension. Again, depending on what kind of tuning you want, but for this particular kit, I want it to be pretty kind of punchy and applicable to like rock or pop, funky kind of things. So yeah, generally with the kicks, I won't put them on any particular surface. I'll just make sure that it's a nice carpeted surface so the rims don't get scratched, obviously, and then yeah, start taking these lugs off. Alright, there we go, lugs are off. So I'll take this head off. And bass drums are a little bit tricky. As I'm sure you know, you want to kind of take the head off, and I try not to let the lugs off of the rim and kind of lose their position. So I'll just drop the other head off here. And then put this one on. You can, of course, like take all the lugs off individually. It just takes a little bit more time to get them back on there, but not a big deal. So now just lining up the lugs again and kind of tightening the back in. Get them all in position to start with, and then kind of tweak them from there. Cool. So this drum, the bass drums are kind of a case where I wouldn't mind using the drill again, just on a really low setting, just because the lugs are that bit longer and you can save a bit of time doing it this way. Cool, so now the lugs are pretty much down. I'm going to go around again and just finger tighten them up as much as I physically can. And again, apply a little bit of light pressure on each lug and just tighten it as much as you can. Physically get it without going too crazy. Cool, all right, that's on. Now, if you push down on here, you'll notice, like, yeah, it is pretty wrinkly, as I was saying before. So I might have to do a little bit of tweaking with the drum key, but just to get an overall starting point. Yeah, I mean, some people would love that sound. It sounds pretty cool, but it's a little bit loose for me, so I'll just start, half turning the finger tight. Cool. So now I've done a few finger tight kind of half turns, and I'm putting some pressure in the middle of the drum, and I can tell that this side is pretty wrinkly, so I'm just going to keep my hand down there pretty firmly and tighten it up a little until those wrinkles kind of even out a little bit. That's sounding pretty nice already. So yeah, as I mentioned, I want a pretty tight, kind of controlled, punchy sound. Not too much overtone for the kind of styles I'm going to be using this kit for. So yeah, coated Power Stroke 3 with a reverse black dot, and the only muffling I've got in there is the pillow that comes with the drums. It's a pearl pillow. It's got a cool Velcro strip in it so it doesn't slip around in the drum. But yeah, that's the only muffling that's kind of in there at the moment. So what I'll do now is get a bass drum beater, take it off of the pedal, and this. That sounds pretty good. I like to do that, like not put the pedal on just in case I have to kind of tune like the bottom lugs. You're not taking the pedal on and off or being awkward. You can just easily tip the drum up and kind of get it like that. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. Yeah, very happy. Cool. All right. So what I might do now is put the toms on the kit. I'll put this pedal on, and then I'll get a mic, a couple of mics, and yeah, we'll do a little bit of recording with it to see how it comes through the recording software. All right, so I got the drums in position now. All the heads are on. I've put a couple of mics up. I've got an AKG C414 as an overhead, and AKG D112 on the kick drum. So yeah, let's see how this thing sounds. Beautiful. I mean, of course, depending on the style and the song you're playing, you want to adjust the tones and kind of the sustain, maybe put some muffling or what have you. But I think to get a nice overall idea of how these drums sound, just fresh out the boxes with brand new heads, I think you'll agree they sound pretty nice just as they are. I might do a little bit of tweaking now and see what result we can get by just adjusting some of the fundamental pitches a little bit. yeah, I really love this kit already. This is awesome. I can't wait to use it on a gig. And if everything lines up properly, I should be cutting to some footage of me using this on a gig in a few days' time right now. So enjoy. 1, 2, 3. Thanks so much for checking out this video here today. I really hope you've enjoyed checking out my little process of putting some new heads on a brand new kit and sharing with you the first time I play these drums and the first gig that I use these drums on. Like I said, absolutely love this kit already, and I can't wait to use it for many, many years to come. So a huge thank you to Pearl Drums again for getting me hooked up with this kit. It's a real love at first play kind of setup. So as always, I want to hear from everyone out there. What's a new piece of gear that you guys have got recently and started using in your setup and on a live gig? If you're excited about it, please put it in the comments below. Or if you've got any specific thoughts on tuning techniques or methods that have worked for you, especially when using new drums straight out the boxes. If you've had that kind of similar process before, how have you tackled it? If you found any interesting tips and tricks along the way, I'd love to hear from you as well, and I'm sure a lot of the other drumming community would appreciate your thoughts as well. But I think we'll leave it there for today. Thank you so much once again for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please head on over to drummersperspective.com, sign up to the mailing list, and I'll see you next time on Drummer's Perspective.